with Shay. We have a fantastic lineup today. I have a special guest by the name of John Shipman. He's our green specialist. I can't wait to ask him a bunch of questions so that you, the viewers, can find out more about greening your kitchen and greening your home. We're talking about sustainable living here, and we're going to make a fantastic kale salad. I know I've been talking about making a kale salad for the longest, but today I'm going to challenge John, our guest, to a showdown on our kale salad. Who can make the best one? But without further ado, I'll be back after this moment and we'll get a chance to meet John and talk about our recipes. Be back in a minute.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining me in the kitchen with Shay. We have an exciting episode today. We're going to be talking about greening the kitchen, and we're talking about sustainable living here. And I have a special guest, John Shipman. I mean, this guy knows everything. I mean, he's got accolades as long as my arm here, but I'll let him tell you. And he's going to help me make a fantastic kale salad. And we have so many choices. So we're going to have a great time talking about what greening is and how important it is to our society as a whole. And without further ado, John Shipman, please come on out.
Hi, Barbara.
Hey, John, how's it going?
Great.
It's so good to have you on. John is a specialist in greening. And can you tell the viewers what greening is actually?
Well, it's really not as complicated as what people often make of it. I always refer to it as just doing a better job. And when people hear that, they're like, wait a minute, how could that be that simple? But really, it is that simple. So I like to refer to it as just doing a better job. And I'll tell you a little more about that, what I mean. I mean, you know, you can make your house more energy efficient. You could change your behavior and do something green that you might not have done before, like recycling, as simple as that, or you know, maybe even getting really green and start composting in your yard and things like that. So, but no matter what you do, it's just doing something better and living healthier. And so that's why I like to say being green is very simple. It's just doing a better job.
And is that part of the sustainable living?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, when people really take a look at green and they kind of break it down to its most simplest form, they realize, hey, yeah, it is about just doing a better job and just doing something a little differently than what we perhaps did before. I think a lot of us are really green and we just don't really realize it until we start really doing something green and we're like, well, I was doing that before anyway, but now I'm just doing more of it.
I think I agree with you. In terms of people as a whole, Americans, we're wasteful. Come on, folks, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We are wasteful. And it's a transformation that we have to do and be conscious of greening. And I'm talking about in the home or in the kitchen, and people will save more energy and use less energy if they would buy certain appliances. Which appliances would those be?
Well, when we talk about appliances, we generally like to talk about appliances that are Energy Star. That's what people usually understand relatively easily. But we can also, it doesn't have to be Energy Star. It could just be, for example, if we're talking about a clothes washer, it could be something that uses less water, and it doesn't necessarily have to be Energy Star, let's say. Or it could be something, let's say a refrigerator that's maybe smaller than the average refrigerator. A lot of people don't realize that just doing something on a smaller scale is green because the footprint is not as large. So if you, for example, had a 25 cubic foot refrigerator and you went down to an under 20 cubic foot refrigerator, that's green in and of itself. It doesn't necessarily have to be Energy Star. And of course, the best would be if you had an under 20 cubic foot refrigerator that was Energy Star, right?
Right, so that's kind of like a feature of green, which is greening your kitchen using less. And we're talking, folks, about greening. We're talking about accumulating points. When you're green labeling something, there's a specialist and there's even a third-party rater that comes in, so it's not just taking your word, but thanks to our president, we have lots of money available for rebates and of the sort. Can you tell us about part of greening and sustainable living, how that ties into building a greener society that we're looking for?
Sure. Well, just as you mentioned, thanks to some good thought process and giving some money to the states, and then that got passed down to the local jurisdictions in every state. Just about every state, not just in California, for example, has rebates for saving energy or doing something that's green or being sustainable. And right here in California, we have Energy Upgrade California, which allows folks to tap into, in some cases, $6,500 to help make their homes greener, or at least
Well,
more
hold
energy
it right
efficient.
there. Folks, did you hear that? If you can get $6,500 in upgrades to make your home greenable, wouldn't you do it? John, tell them how to do that.
Oh, well, certainly. Well, it all starts with actually understanding what's going on in the home. So we always recommend that people have an energy audit of their house. That's the basic starting point, because if you really don't know what's happening inside a home, well, then it's hard to figure out how to fix a house and make it more green or make it more energy efficient. So we always start with a good energy audit to see what's happening in somebody's home. And if you start with an energy audit from one of the contractors, for example, or one of the groups that have been approved to do this through Energy Upgrade California, then you'll be able to tap into that rebate money if you use those sources.
And folks, that's fantastic. It's not just some jag-led contractor. These people are certified through the state of California or through the green process. In order for you to get the green energy upgrades, you have to go through a certified person off the list. And as you know, that by day I'm a broker, and I'm officially a green broker now, and by night I'm a chef. So for those, I'm now a green broker. For those other green people that to take advantage of the rebates, you also have to be qualified as a green contractor, right?
Correct.
And then there's a third party person, has nothing to do with anything, to come and check the contractor's work. And I think that's fantastic, because it's your money at work. That means the money's not being given away freely. Right?
Right. And when you're doing that too, you're working with a specialist that's already been vetted by the local agencies that approve them. So it really is good for the consumer, because you have confidence in the people that are actually coming out and being involved in the greening the process with you. So that's a nice feature.
It is a very good feature, and we're talking about greening, guys, and we're going to do some greening up here in this kitchen. Now, I have some wonderful kale, and this is already washed and everything. I'm going to take mine. John, you're going to take yours.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to gently just massage my pieces as I take them off down and now if you want to use a knife, oh, I left a knife in there. If you want to use a knife, you can, but I don't. I just kind of tear my pieces up, and it actually keeps it a little fresher. When you cut into it, it's a difference. And I keep my stems. Now, you may not be as methodical about keeping your stem in recycling as I am. I have a method for my madness. When I keep this stem, I actually put them to the side with my celery and onions and anything that I can to make my vegetable stock with. So all the good stuff is in here.
I was going to say, I saw you put it to the side, and I wasn't sure if you were going to keep it or not. And I was going to say, hey, wait a minute, shouldn't you be keeping that?
Well, I've been accused of trying to use everything in the kitchen, and frankly, I love using everything. I waste not, want not. I don't like to waste food. And I was raised not to waste food, but thank God I eat right. Otherwise, you can't eat everything that otherwise you would throw away. So in greening the kitchen, it's such I think, a fantastic opportunity for homeowners. When they purchase a home, they can get an EEM, which is the Energy Efficient Mortgage.
Correct, yes.
And so, guys, you don't have to spend that money out of your pocket, but if you're looking at saving and reducing, possibly an example of using a utility bill. If you're paying between $300 and $500 a month on average, and you did an energy audit and had your house retrofitted if it needed windows, etc., and you were able to save a difference of maybe $300 or $400 a month in difference in your bill, that's worth it itself.
Oh yeah, well, one of the things you mentioned, EEM, one of the things that's great about the EEM is that if you don't save money on your true cost of home ownership, it's not an EEM. You can't do it. In fact, that is the litmus test. That is why you need to have an energy audit. When the energy audit's done, they change the energy audit a little bit. They do a little bit of energy modeling with it, and then they look at whether or not the cost of the improvement that you do will be offset by the savings in your energy. So how it works is that if you don't save more on your energy bill over the life of the loan than what it costs to do the improvements, you can't do the EEM. So it's a win-win situation. So what's great about it is if you get the EEM, from the very first day that you live in the house, your cost of living in the house is lower than if you didn't have the EEM. So think about it. You get to do all this great energy savings work. Your house is more comfortable. It's probably going to be healthier, right? Because the indoor air quality in the house is going to be better, because a lot of that has to do with energy efficiency. People don't realize that being energy efficient can actually make your house more comfortable and more have better and more healthy. Yeah, exactly. So you get all those benefits, and you're saving money right from the first day you're in the house.
People don't realize that air quality inside your home is actually, it's worse. If you really test that, it is really bad, worse than it is outside.
Yeah, that's for we've known that in the building science circles for quite some time now, and it's kind of sad, but that's why we think a lot of people have a lot more asthma than maybe before. Is because of the building materials and the way we've been building over the last few years, and not really thinking about that. But we now know that. And we know.
And I think it's about time. I think you guys should rush to life like you do success, and being part of successful is living in an environment with good, healthy air quality.
Right.
And the proper air conditioning. And now I understand that the windows just got approved.
Yes, windows are now part of the program, which is really, really, really nice. I mean, from a building science standpoint, people are shocked to hear that windows are not always the things that we run to replace right away. But aesthetically, people love to replace their windows because everybody loves the new look of a nice new window. So, but in most cases, or often, we do recommend replacement of the windows. But I would agree. I mean, if you're going to have this great healthy lifestyle and you're going to eat healthy food, why wouldn't you want to live in a healthy environment?
And then get paid for it. You can get rebates, and not only in the house, but you're talking about greening and getting points for having less than 2,000 square feet, having a detached garage.
Yeah.
All these things are important features. Even getting a low flush toilet, right?
Right,
all of
absolutely.
These things are
Water
contributing
savings.
factors.
How important is water savings right now? I mean, we live in a state where a drought is really a big deal, right?
And you have people kind of dropping a dime on you. The neighbors are calling.
Right.
But, I think that with one of those California SoCal program, is it?
Energy Upgrade California?
Energy Upgrade is $2 per square foot on the lawn.
Oh, well, that's different municipalities are doing different things when you change out, when you reduce the amount of lawn, let's say, that you have, and you put in, let's say, a sustainable garden, or friendlier plants and drought-tolerant plants, things like that.
To use less water.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what are some of the things now, from what I understanding in my research now, John also was an instructor, and he is one of the few instructors for the whole state of California to teach green real estate and understanding green to contractors as well. But John, what amount of money is it something like $20 million to be earmarked for greening for the next 20 years or 10 years?
Oh, it's going to be more than that. Yeah, it's in the hundreds of millions. There's a lot of money earmarked, and so we don't know how long programs are going to last. We're not privy to that, but we know that there's a lot of money out there for programs to continue, for energy efficiency programs and things like that. And then also the utilities participate, and they actually take ratepayer money, and the ratepayers get some of that back in the form of energy efficiency rebates too. So, and I think it's important too, because we're talking about green and we're talking about energy efficiency. But the interesting thing is, and I think this is an important distinction to make, is you can have a house that's energy efficient, but it may not be green. And I'll give you an example. If you had an Energy Star home, well, you have a house that's energy efficient because it's an Energy Star home, right? But it may not be green. And what I mean to say, a lot of people aren't sure, what exactly do you mean by that? Well, energy efficiency is the cornerstone of green. So if you had a green home, it would always be energy efficient. But energy efficiency You could have an energy efficient home, and it could be an Energy Star home, but it doesn't do anything, let's say, to conserve natural resources, right? Or it doesn't do anything to improve the community, or it doesn't do anything to improve the indoor air quality or save water. That's the difference. A green home has to be energy efficient, it has to save water, it has to conserve natural resources, improve the community, and improve the indoor air quality for the occupant. An energy efficient home just has to save energy.
Wow, that's
Those are the differences.
an education right there, folks. And if you need any additional information, John will be happy to supply you, or you can even call me, since I am a new green person and I've learned everything from John, and I am out there in the trenches, and I want to learn more, and it's so exciting to learn about sustainable living and what the energy network is doing to support the new homes, because believe it or not, most of the energy that's used up is not from commercial industry and transport, is residential.
Yeah.
And so it's just amazing how much waste is happening, and it's about time, and I'm looking forward to it, and I would like to be part of it, because it's just nothing but gonna grow with all of the energy functionality around that's going on.
Right.
And it's really, really exciting.
It's great. And what's going to happen with the price of utilities down the road? Where are they going to go?
It's going to go down.
Oh, yeah, right.
And they're pretty pissed about that. And not only that, I think it's fantastic, because when you green label your home, it actually is worth 9 to 20% higher than the market value, right?
Studies have shown that it's anywhere from 5 to 9%, but in the research that we've done, we found that green labeled homes can actually sell. This is a great thing for like being in the real estate business, and we're also in the green real estate business as well. And what we've come to realize through our research is that we could actually get sometimes even as high as up to 14 or 15% for homes. So for a seller who's thinking, hey, maybe this is a good strategy for me. I attracted a brand new kind of buyer.
Absolutely.
And who will pay top dollar, because if my house is green and it really does save energy and it's healthier, that may be a better 3-bedroom, 2-bath home than the one down the street.
Absolutely.
Right.
And you are right. If there's a new group of buyers, on our previous show, we had our money man here, and there is a group of buyers, new young millionaires, or people who make a lot of money that are under 35, that are conscientious of what they eat, the cars that they drive, sustainable living, and I'm telling you folks, this is what the future is going to. You really do yourself a favor for health reasons, as well as taking advantage of the environment.
Yeah.
And John, we got to do something creative here with this salad. I have put my green kale together, and now I'm going to start topping my kale salad. What I like on my kale salad the most, I like mangoes or peaches or some type of fruit. So I'm going to go with a couple of peaches to put on top, and that's going to be my first base. Now I like a little feta or gorgonzola cheese to go on top of my, and cranberries. And what I'm going to do is just make it beautiful. And what happens is a delicious flavor in every bite of the kale. And what are you doing with yours? You have a plate there.
Oh, okay, great.
And
I'll
I'm
put
going
it
to
on my plate.
also put a
Now, I
little
wash my
tomatoes.
hands.
Yes,
Okay,
go for
I did.
it.
I washed my hands.
And John is going to create one from what's on the table, and I'm going to create one. And I tell you, I don't have anything fattening up here, unfortunately. But I do like, now we do have good fat. We do have avocado, which is good fat.
I'd love to have some avocado, because
Oh,
in my
fantastic.
kale salad, I would love to have some avocado.
Here you go, big fella.
Thank you,
There is
ma'am.
your avocado.
I know what to do with
and
one of
guys,
those.
this is looking fantastic already. And I'm going to go with a little green onion on top, because this is a mild green onion, and this is just, I can just smell it. It's fantastic. Now, when I'm doing my kale chips, I like to, you can do it the same way. Wash your kale, do what I did, is kind of massage it off of the vine and put it in a bowl, drizzle olive oil, dry chili flakes, pepper, and a little kosher sea salt or sea salt. And just mix it, put it on a cookie sheet, and just bake it for like maybe 10 minutes. And you have some gorgeous kale flakes. It's absolutely fantastic.
Now, has anybody ever injured themselves on your show? Because now, see, I can tell you're a cook. Now, I in the kitchen have 2 left hands, but now I've watched my wife a few times, and she knows how to cook. right? Now, I knew if she were here, she would not get herself hurt with this knife. But has anybody ever
Well, don't get
done themselves in with this knife
No,
under
we
them?
can't
Okay.
allow that to happen on this show. We only have experts on here. Now, another thing, it makes it really interesting. And there's people that say, "Oh God, why is she putting that fruit on there?" But let me tell you, unless you taste this stuff, it is fantastic. I like to go with a couple of grapes. If you put the grapes in gorgonzola, I mean, it's just like, if you're going to have a glass of red wine with some cheese and grapes and apples, it's fantastic. It's the same thing as eating your kale salad. You can put a couple of grapes in here, and it's just going to make it fantastic. I like cranberries to go in, and so today what I do have is raisins. And I'm going to go ahead and utilize my whole palette here, and I'm going to put some raisins on top of this kale salad. As well as, now, we have a few things that's kind of interesting. If you can see so far how beautiful that's looking. We have a couple of different choices that I can go with. We have some toasted cashews that we can put on here. Or I also have some, oh God, look at that. That is absolutely beautiful. We have some, look at that, that's fantastic. We have some toasted gorgonzola garbanzo beans. So I'm just going to put a couple of those around on here, and the bearer of this salad, the eater of this salad, is going to really enjoy it because it is a beautiful, healthy salad. Now, tell me, is that gorgeous or what?
That looks amazing.
That's fantastic. Hey, John, that's not too bad yourself.
Well, I don't have the color you do, but I'm kind of going with the whole texture thing.
Okay,
I want the texture to really dance in your mouth.
Oh.
Mine's not as colorful as yours, but I think you're going to really like the crunchy and the soft kind of texture together.
Well,
And
see, that's what makes it so good. When you're eating raw food, remember, guys, you have your steam, you can have your saute, but you still need your raw. And if you're going to go with the raw, go with that kale salad. You can't go wrong. Great protein, and then you're getting your pectin, your lycobeans from the tomatoes. And garbanzo beans are excellent for you as well because it's beans. Beans is protein as well. So you're really not missing the meat.
Well, you know what else I like about the garbanzo beans that you have here today is they have a little bit of pepper on them. I was eating them earlier.
Yeah, it's okay.
And I will tell you this, I think that makes a really nice addition. It's not spicy, but it adds a little nice kind of, not spicy, but a little tangy twist to the salad as well. So, and I agree with you. I would like to I think the tomatoes would look good on there too, but I think what we've got here with this one is a really nice texture that's going to dance on your tongue.
Beautiful. Yeah, and it's totally two different types of salad. And how beautiful is that? That looks so fantastic. Take a look at that. I'm so happy about that. Now tell me, what, in your experience as a trainer and a licensed contractor, when you, what is some of the pitfalls that a person would have to look out for if they're trying to navigate themselves through the greening? It's like a big green monster, and you got to bring it down to size.
You do, okay, and you're right about that, and that can be really a daunting task for a lot of people. So thanks. Don't get caught up in all the hype. There's a lot of hype out there. It seems as though there's a lot of greenwashing, right? So one of the things I like to tell people to do is go to trusted websites, go to trusted organizations like Energy Upgrade California, the Energy Network. There's a new program out called CHIRP, Community Home Energy Retrofit Project, which is a program that is designed, it's popping up in different cities. There's now one in Monrovia, for example, real close.
And I had a chance to meet Devin.
Yes, started by Devin Hartman, and we've been involved in that. And what I love about that is it's education-based. So nobody's really trying to sell anybody anything, which is nice.
It's
so
knowledge. Knowledge is power. And so people, knowledge is power. So arm yourself with good nutritional food and knowledge about greening the future, because it's important. You don't want it to go over your head. You want to be involved in the process that's taking place right around us, and get yourself ready to buy a property and green label it.
Yes, and so having that great education and getting that good information, that's the key, and that will cut through a lot of the baloney that's out there and help you make good decisions, because people that are empowered with education know how to make their own good decisions.
And let me ask you a question. So totality, if you do green label your home and you're saving tons of money and you have a feature of green is also solar panels. But the question that I'm getting at is that you can never remove yourself totally from the energy grid.
Well, it's hard to. It's hard to with today's day and age because even solar are going to be tied to the grid, and there are people with battery backup systems and things like that. But it's hard to be completely removed from the grid. But what we always recommend, and I always like to tell people this because everyone thinks, oh, solar is green, and we should put solar panels on our home first, and that's going to, well, no. Solar is a green feature, and renewable energy is wonderful. I mean, but we always go with the mantra, first reduce, then produce, right? Because we've had many examples of people that have put a lot of solar panel on their homes, spent a lot of money, and they still have a utility bill, or they're not comfortable, or the indoor air quality didn't change.
They're not understanding the process.
Right. So we've seen many cases where we've helped people where they've greened their home and made their home more energy efficient to begin with, and guess what? Then they only need, in many cases, sometimes even $5,000, $6,000, $7 worth of solar panels, and they're very close to a zero energy bill every month.
Isn't that fantastic? You can still have a zero energy bill without being off the grid, right?
Right. Oh, absolutely.
So that's fantastic.
It's possible. People don't realize it, but it's possible. Yeah.
Well, okay, John Shipman, it's been fantastic having you, and I wish we had more time. We're coming up to the end of the show, but look, guys, this is fantastic. I'm not sure my